Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us for the first Crema Design Challenge Showcase. We just want to let everybody know that we are going to be partnering with Figma to do a 90-day pro license giveaway. To enter, just go to the description box below, click on the link, and fill out the form by June 26th, and then we'll be announcing the winners on our Instagram page. Thank you guys so much, and good luck! Hi, my name is Aubrey Illig, and my application is called Huddle. So I started thinking about Huddle a couple of months ago, really when all of this started, when we all started having to work from home unexpectedly. We all went from our everyday in-person work culture where we could sit together, collaborate in a room, pass notes, have one-on-one conversations off to the side as they were needed, be able to collaborate in a group, follow along with meeting agendas, and all of that went away. All of a sudden, we were limited to what the current video applications could allow us. All of a sudden, we were taken from a world of together, and we were asked to be a part and supplement that togetherness with applications. Overnight, our in-person interactions were replaced with digital applications. Very quickly, it became apparent to me that those applications were not designed to replace our in-person interactions. They were only ever meant to supplement them. So when something happened where everyone across the world started having to work from home if they could, it was very clear that these applications were not up to the task of filling that gap. And so I started thinking of what an application would look like to fill that gap. And that's how I came up with the idea for Huddle. So Huddle is intended to be a video-based online meeting and interaction platform. So my goal for Huddle is that it's video based. It would work like any of your video meeting applications currently would, with some additions. So the idea is that it would have meeting agendas that would be clear to follow along and would kind of make it very clear where you were at, what was going to be covered. That would integrate with a group chat function where people would be able to comment on specific parts of the agenda, and it would make it really clear how all that information tied together. Additionally, it would integrate with apps like Slack, so you could assign a meeting to a Slack channel, and when a meeting was done, all of those notes in relation to the meeting agenda would be shared in a message with that Slack channel, so it could be easily accessed later, and that information didn't just go away when the call was over. So I really want this application to be interactive. I want it to be robust. I want people to be able to interact in a way of a group setting like I just talked about, but also allow people to have one-on-one chats off to the side. If someone's talking, being able to send them a direct reaction to what they're talking about. Be able to one-on-one message someone off to the side about something that's going on. Being able to interact with one another in a digital world in a way that makes us feel like we're almost together, even when we can't be. So that's my idea for Huddle. I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out, and hope you follow along. Alrighty, so far today I've done my styles. I didn't have time to do it before today, so I got those done. Finished up my logo work. Got all my type styles ready for everything, as well as my color scheme, which has changed a little bit since I started. And then I also got my drop shadows and starter icons ready. And then I realized that my icons weren't quite robust enough. So I pulled some over from an icon pack I often use, just to make sure I have all the options I need. One of my biggest problems with a lot of the video applications that are currently out there is that they don't seem to have they're not very explicit in what they actually mean, and so I wanted to make them as clear as possible. Over on the product side, this is about what I have so far. My thoughts on this are that I was trying to make sure that whatever I was designing for this specific page fit into the grand scheme of the application. So I did spend some time planning out the flows and figuring out what other pages would exist. And then I tried to figure out a way to kind of combine these things. So then I created the sidebar. So there's the sidebar for the actual current meeting, and then the sidebar for the application overall. This is obviously where the individual little thumbnails for everyone would exist. And next I'm going to work on kind of animating those and showing what it would look like for different screen layouts. And then over on the right side, I have it broken down between 3 different sections. We have details, which would be like the meeting details about like participants, what Slack channel we have it linked up to, and then like time frames, all that sort of stuff. And then the meeting agenda is going to be an outline that I'm going to allow users to create that breaks down kind of the meeting overall, and it's going to be it's going to interact with the chat to make sure that like whatever's being chatted about is in regard to whatever is in the meeting agenda. And then the chat will obviously be between individual users. Up here on the screen I have an options button. I have this all ready to be animated, but I have other options that come out here from it. Like sending interactions to people, like you can clap for someone or this and that. You can send in a private chat, or you can pin a specific video. So I have it all ready to start getting animated. I just need to finish out this last piece on the right sidebar, and I will get on all of that next. Alright, so this is my second update of the day. I have designed out all of my navigation. I have my versions of this screen designed out. So previously I had everyone as a grid, and this is what it would look like if this user were pinned. Here you have your link to your individual Slack channel page in regard to what this meeting is about. From here is where you would edit your grid view down here. On the side, you'd be able to select whether you wanted to have a sidebar, no bar, or a bottom bar. And then over on the side here, we have it set up now so you can have these toggled on or off. If they were toggled off, one of them was toggled off, the other one would take up the full view. If they were both turned off, then it would set over here to have no view automatically. And then they would just select back over here to turn it back on. So if you actually click into the preview, you can see here that over on the side, you can scroll through the meeting agenda, and this is the little indicator to show you where you are right now. And then down in the chat below, you can see here that each of the comments has an indicator to what the comment is about. So this one is, you can see 1.1.1 would refer to this section here. So it's going to give that identifier, it's going to say who it's from, what time, and then you can reply to individual comments in the same way you'd be able to in a Slack thread. So we're kind of pulling that usability over. So now any of this chat that happened during the meeting, it would be sent to this Slack channel up at the top after the meeting had concluded. So none of that data is lost. All that information is pulled through and will continue to be useful at a later date. So at this point, all I need to do is go through and animate the different options, and we should be ready to go for presentations at 4 o'clock. My application is called Huddle. Huddle, if you know me, you know that I don't like Zoom. I have a lot of issues with Zoom. I have a lot of issues with the iconography for Zoom. And I just felt like there's a lot of things that should be happening when it comes to online meeting experiences that weren't happening before. So whether it's interactive chat or meeting agendas that are integrated into the application, there was a lot of room for growth. So I decided to start trying to make my own. I think trying to make my own in a day was maybe a little bit ambitious, but I'm pretty happy with what has come out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you guys through what I've come up with. Trying to make my own. So as far as the idea, it's going to be a web application. I wanted to set something up where it was really dynamic. And while I don't have every aspect of this designed, I really wanted it to be something where you could really edit the way you view the grids for people, be able to dynamically add and edit, have options like being able to view a chat and integrating a meeting agenda, as well as being able to easily just send somebody a share link like you would a document on paper, or just really being able to easily integrate people into things, share things, and not quite have it be so easy to mess up. I feel like Zoom is really bad. Maybe that's just me, but so my thought, and I also want to make something that was a little bit more human, better interactions and that sort of thing. So this is just a start, but if you were to go and you could hover on anybody's thumbnail, and then you could add an individual interaction, you could pin it or star it, and then you could also start an individual chat with that person. When it comes to the chats, I imagine that those would actually be able to link into Slack channels. So if you have a meeting with a product team or a group, then you could actually link it to that Slack channel. And when the meeting is over, it would send that chat series with all the information to that channel. So it's almost like a documentation system as well. But you could also create individual chats with individual people, just like you would in a meeting if you were there in person, being able to chat with somebody one-on-one on the side. So if you were to add a reaction to somebody, you could have some highlighted reactions. It would be more robust than this, but I just put this there for an example, where you could give people feedback on the spot and make it very easy to respond to people individually versus as a whole. You could additionally, like I said, star somebody to make them more prominent, and you could star multiple people to create different sorts of grids. And then over here on the side, I have sections for the meeting agenda and the chat, and I just have those as toggles so you can decide which ones you want to view so you don't have to take up that space. So if you turn on the meeting agenda, you could then see the agenda and you'd have a little indicator as to where you were, so you could follow along as you went through. And you'd have easily ability to scroll through this. And then when it comes to the chat, if you can see down here, I know it's probably small on your screens, but you would have the ability to actually respond in line with what is happening in the meeting. So you would know what people are responding to. And so then the chats are actually relative to what's happening in the meeting, and you don't lose that context when it's just one long chat when you have a multi-hour meeting. Additionally, you could set up different screen styles. So this is one with a right sidebar. You could also select a bottom side or a bottom bar where these would collapse down. I don't have that designed, but that would be an option. And additionally, you could just have a full screen with just the videos. And then if somebody was sharing a screen, you could also easily arrange those in whatever view you want. I wish in Zoom there was the ability to be able to incorporate the shared screen more easily into just a simple grid that was more customizable for individual users. So that is Huddle. I wanted to get more done. I think it was a little ambitious to hope that I could redesign a video chat web application in a day. But it was a lot of fun. I'm happy with how it turned out, and it's definitely something I would like to continue working on in the future. So thank you very much.